Hello everyone and welcome to another Ghost Game video. This time I'm going to be going over the most recent episode of Ghost Game, which is episode 37, Herd of the Dead, but I'm also going to be going over the synopses for the upcoming episodes, which are episodes 38 through to 41. So, just to get started, episode 37 synopsis basically involves that the group go to where Kiyoshiro is doing some work to deliver some donuts, but, of course, there's the Mon of the Week at this location. So a bunch of people and some corpses are becoming zombies, and also some dead animals are also becoming zombies. It's very graphic and very spooky. We find out that this is because Rareramon is resurrecting these corpses and then eating them to become stronger and to become whole, because Rareramon in itself is also a zombie. The group decide that the only way to stop Rareramon from this rampage is to kind of do a bit of a mercy kill, and that's the only way about it. The group kind of remember the other deaths that we've had, such as Bokomon and Digitamamon, and Battlegamon even says, once they kill Rareramon, that Rareramon's just going on a journey. Now, there's a few things that I want to discuss about this episode before we get on to the next episode's synopses, and that is the fact that we finally addressed Bokomon's death, since we've not really touched that topic for about 20 or so episodes. So, on one hand, we've got them remembering in a few flashbacks, but on the other hand, we also have the wording of Bokomon saying that Rareramon's going on a journey. Now, previously, this wording was to refer to the grandma in the episode after the Bokomon Death episode, where they said that she was just on a journey. That more or less confirms something that was sort of implied but sort of left up in the air in that episode of whether or not the grandma actually died or did actually go on a literal journey. The use of the wording here kind of implies that yes, the grandma that the Koemon was hanging out with had actually passed, and that's the journey that was mentioned, or at least that's what this episode seems to imply. So this episode also reminds me a little bit of an episode in Digimon Adventure 02, which was called Demon Core, which had the characters from the first series of Digimon, Hikari and Taichi, discuss the fact that when they had their initial journey in the digital world, they were always killing Digimon because they had to. It was a matter of them or us, or a matter of mercy killing. And the kids in 02, the kids who were just new to that series, hadn't actually ever killed Digimon. It was always the removal of the Dark Spiral and the fact that the Digimon was just good, so they didn't actually have to kill it. And that episode had to come to terms with a way that they needed to address that and tell these kids that killing Digimon is actually sometimes a necessity. It's sometimes something you have to do. So the fact that we addressed this in this episode reminded me of that. They're coming to terms with the fact that they don't always have to talk the Digimon down from the rampage. Because previously, except for the case of the Digitamon episode or the Sealsdramon episode, which were both referenced in this episode, it has been a case of they've battled and the Digimon has either given up and surrendered and said, okay, fine. The Digimon has just said, I'm still evil, but I'm just gonna leave because, we've had a battle and I've been injured, or they're just like, okay, ha ha ha, that was a test, and leaves. And we had Felsdamon, I think it was, that just left, and we had the Weedmon who said that they were just misunderstood but were pretty suspicious. And we have also had the Digimon who were just misunderstood. So, most recently Gigasmon was just misunderstood and thought that the humankind was coming to an end and needed to memorialize them in stone. So we've had the case of misunderstood Digimon who have just given up and said, okay, fine, I surrender, or Digimon who have just escaped. This episode finally had us, in addition to the Digitamon episode and the Sealsdramon episode, had us faced with the fact we have to kill a Digimon. But this episode, they discussed it more. In the Digitamon episode, we had Simbar and Goramon realizing that there was no reasoning with Digitamon and killing him, but they didn't actually make a discussion about what to do. In this episode, they addressed that there was no other way. They had to mercy kill Rareamon, it was just going to go on a rampage, and it's essentially a living corpse in itself anyway, and is just looking to reanimate itself. So it's kind of sad in that way. But I'm glad that they finally addressed the death of Bokumon and sort of relating that a little bit more to sometimes you have to kill Digimon, sometimes you can't just talk them out of it. And it was a really solid episode. I really enjoyed watching it. It was well-paced, like a lot of episodes in Ghost Game don't seem to be paced super well. It did have the issue that it was fairly plot convenient. The characters go to a place where it just so happens the Mon of the Week is. Magic. But I'm not going to fault it too much on being plot convenient, because the fact that they just showed up at the location where the Mon of the Week was by pure coincidence, it means that they don't have to spend that 10 minutes of investigation. And usually that investigation part of an episode is something I like. It does often mean that the end of the episode's battle and the resolution of that battle and the resolution of the episode feels kind of rushed. They don't get to really discuss it. It's like, in the Lamortmon episode, we had Darkmon show up and says, hey, no, stop. He's just my dog that decided to eat a legend and then become the werewolf legend. It's usually a very much just rushed ending. But this episode allowed us time to get to that point. Even though it rushed straight into the point of the episode, we got straight to zombies straight away, they discovered the zombies straight away, there was no investigation. It was a fairly well-paced episode, which is something I really liked. I want all of the Mon of the Week episodes to have a similar flow to this. It was very well-paced, and I really want more episodes like this. It's the way an episode should be. All of the characters did also feel equal. It didn't feel like it was just Hero saving the day, even though he kind of like mentioned, we have to do a mercy kill. It felt like it was a group effort to come to that conclusion. And I really like the fact that we flash back to previous episodes and we remembered that previous events existed. We had Gammon had a lot of trauma from seeing Bokumon die. And the fact that we're remembering that event happened is really nice. It's a sad moment, but I'm glad that we're reflecting on an event that's already passed. We're not just forgetting that it happened because it's like 20 episodes ago. It's nice to address that again. I was starting to worry that we might not ever address the fact that Gammon saw Bokumon die. And I was actually surprised we saw Digitalmon in that flashback as well, to address that sometimes you have to kill Digimon, it's necessary. So that was a nice touch. The Demon Core episode is probably my favourite episodes of 02. It was well animated for its time, and it was nice that they addressed the fact that the kids in 02 hadn't killed Digimon up to that point, and the kids in the original adventure were always killing Digimon from the start because they had to. It was a survival thing. So it's really nice that we address that in Ghost Game as well, because most of the time it has just been talking them down. So I was a big fan of that. This episode is really good. The thing about Ghost Game is you can kind of skip episodes, and there are some episodes I would just say, yeah, you can definitely skip that. It didn't seem like much was going on there. It was just a very standard Mon of the Week episode. I would recommend that if you are one person who decides to skip episodes, don't skip this one. It's a really good one, and it's almost not filler because it actually addresses previous episodes, and it kind of talks about how they have to kill Digimon and turn them into Digitama again. There's also the part that all of the Digimon got to perfect in this battle and fought as perfect levels. That's something I also liked, because previously it's mainly been Canon Weissmon who gets to show up, evolve, and battle and do the finishing shot. So I also like the fact that it was the whole group evolving. So those are my thoughts on episode 37. So now let's go to these synopses, which typically I do this in its own video, but I felt like there wasn't too much to talk about, so I thought I'd just mesh the videos up and do the synopsis as well as the review for episode 37. So, as always, these episode guide listings are all found on With the Will. They get them translated and then post them as soon as they get them. So, obviously, these always have minor spoilers for upcoming episodes, because they're synopses, but I just thought I'd mention that anyway. And some of them have 2 descriptions of them, so I will read both descriptions as I did in the previous synopsis video. So first up, Hiro and Kotaro head to, and this, I should probably say what episode this is for, episode 38, Onmyoji, which airs on August 14th, so a week from today. So this is the next episode. Hiro and Kotaro head to Yuo Academy Kamakura School to participate in their traditional wakagimi dance. However, the girl playing the role of the wakagimi suddenly takes ill, and Hiro takes her place. At the same time, Domon, who is the purple dark version of Talmon, who can manipulate Omnio magic, plots to resurrect the spirit of the Hojo clan's young lord and revive the Japanese Bakufu. Domon kidnaps Hiro, who is dressed as the wakagimi, to use him as a vessel for the young lord's spirit. And there's also a note here that says wakagimi is a term used for a child or high-ranking aristocratic family. I didn't know that term, so I'm glad they put in that little translation there. So yeah, it's super cool to see Domon. I wonder if it's the evolution from what's the black Cubimon called, or the purple Cubimon called? I can't remember, but I wonder if it's that one that we saw, I think, like, maybe even 30 episodes ago. I wonder if that's the same one or they're just unrelated. And this one has a second synopsis, so the synopsis reads, after being told that we're supposed to send a few of our students there every year, Hiro and Gammon and their fellow classmate, Kotaro, go to Yuo Academy Kamakura School in Kamakura to participate in their traditional summer wakagimi dance. However, the female student who is supposed to play the role of the wakagimi suddenly falls ill, and Hiro takes her place. Around this time, the Digimon Domon, who can manipulate the Omnio magic, plots to revive the spirit of the Hojo clan's young lord who had died on this land and resurrect the Japanese Bakufu after 700 years. Domon kidnaps Hiro, who is dressed as the wakagimi, and uses him as a vessel for the spirit of the young lord, while turning the townspeople into Shikigami and controlling them. He then sets out to conquer and rule the rest of the land of Kamakura. Hiro's partner Gammon is left at a loss all on his own when a mysterious Digimon SBmon suddenly appears before him and helps him to rescue Hiro together. So yay, we get SBmon, who is one of the newest Digimon. There's the dim card that was just released yesterday as of recording this, but also was pre-released at Digimon Fez, which was a few weeks ago, just a week ago. So that's exciting. We get this new Digimon, also debuted in the last month's issue of Digimon Dreamers, which is coming in Psycho Jump. Haven't translated that one yet because it hasn't arrived yet. It's apparently arriving tomorrow. So if you're looking forward to more Digimon Dreamers translations, I've got that one coming, think in the next week or so check that out and stay tuned for that. So subscribe if you would like to see more Digimon Dreamers translations videos, but that plug aside, so yeah, it's good to see Digimon, the new Digimon SBmon show up. That's exciting. I hope that this is going to be a recurring Digimon, especially because the dim card that SBmon's on is a Ghost Game dim card, not just a regular Digimon dim card, so I'm excited for that. I wonder if it's going to be a new partner Digimon, or if it's just like a Digimon that they hang out with, like Mummymon, like Tapiamon, just a friend Digimon. I hope it's like a Digimon partner. I would like to see an additional character show up. Maybe it might be Kotaro, because he is in this episode. I hope not. I hope it's one of Ruri's friends, but this is a Hiro episode after all, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does have a partner, if it is Hiro's friend. So this episode seems really cool. I'm excited that Hiro is being captured. Previously, we've had Ruli captured, we've had Kiyoshiro captured. I'm looking forward to the fact that Hiro's being captured. There's also the point of, I've been waiting since, I think it was in episode 7 or 8 or something, where we learned that Digimon can actually synchronize with their not their human partner. So that was in the case of Ruli synchronizing with Jellymon. I'm wondering if this episode will have someone syncing with Gammamon in the same way. Maybe Kotaro. They don't mention in the synopses Ruli or Kiyoshiro really being in this episode. So I'm wondering if we'll do something in relation to that. So that's episode 38. Sounds pretty creepy, pretty cool, and Domon's also a nice Digimon to appear. Then we have episode 39, Infected Remote Island, which comes out on August 21st. Hiro and Gammamon have a tiny visitor, a Digimon named Gyukimon, another new Digimon, who has the upper body of an ox, the lower body of a spider, and is 3 centimeters long. That's adorable! Hiro invites Gyukimon into his room, but Angoramon's expression changes when he learns of it and yells for them to get away from it immediately. Gyukimon is actually an extremely violent Digimon and a hated figure in the digital world. When Gyukimon challenges you to a fight and you lose, you also get changed into a Gyukimon. Ruli and Kiyoshiro are frightened and wary, but the little Gyukimon appeals to Hiro for help. So I'm wondering if this is like a case of the Digimon's not necessarily evil, like it's actually a Digimon that's been turned into a Gyukimon, or maybe it's just misunderstood and it's like, hey, that rumor is all false, that doesn't actually happen, someone just made that up. I'm wondering how that will go there. And also, again, it's nice to see new Digimon pop up. Next episode is called Episode 40, Spiral Coast, and this comes out on August 28th. Gammon accidentally breaks Hero's tablet, but is too angry to apologise. Oh gosh, we're having another Digimon fight episode, like when the Digimon partner and the human partner fight episode. I really don't like these. I hope it's not terrible. Let's read on. That's when Espeon appears with his arm twisted into a strange shape. He tells them that it happened as he was napping close to a beach. I'm glad that Espeon's returning, which is good. I'm glad. Continuing characters, yay. At Espeon's request, Hero and his friends head to the beach to find out the cause. However, Gammon is still sulking. Gammon happens to meet a girl in elementary school who is looking for a strange twist occurring all over town and hits off with her immediately. Looking for the cause of the spirals together when... So that could be a few things happening. I'm excited to see Espeon as a recurring character. Love that. I'm not a huge fan of the episodes where the partner Digimon and the human partner kind of fight. I don't like those episodes. They tend to be extremely petty as well. But hopefully I'm wrong in that. Hopefully it's not terrible. So that's an episode. And then we don't have a synopsis for episode 41, but we do have a title, and it's called Clown, and it comes out on September 4th. The only clown I can think of is Piedmon, so Chisai will be happy, but in general, no other predictions there because there's no synopsis. So yeah, it's nice that we get to see some new Digimon that are coming from the DIMs that we just saw released yesterday. So Espimon and Gyukimon, that's exciting. We also have Domon. I hope that that's related to the purple Cubimon that we saw earlier in the series. I'm hoping that we get some, like, I'm glad that we get Hero kidnapped. That could be that could go somewhere cool. But yeah, so those are the synopses, and those are my thoughts on the synopses and this week's episode. So I will link those in the description and in the comments, so check those out if you want to read through them yourself. And thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, etc. I'm trying to reach, was it 12,000 I think was my goal? I can't even remember. I think it's 12,000. Yeah, 12,000 by this end of the month. Still aiming for 15,000 by the end of the year, but I'm not super optimistic about that. But definitely subscribe and tell your friends if you haven't already. So we can try to get there. So in any case, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I know I already said that, but I'll say it again. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!